This is unbelievable.
There's nothing quite like a full slate of games on Football Sunday. Over the years, fans have been graced with some truly wild weeks of NFL action. From scoring frenzies and blizzard bowls to defensive dominance and playoff chases, we showcase the craziest weeks in NFL history.
The first down. Now he fades straight out of the pocket.
Got him.
He's got
Back on Bell.
Williams intercepted.
Rule changes in 1978 sought to limit the physicality of defensive backs and open up the passing game. As a result, 1977 was the last year of what is referred to as the dead ball era. And in fitting fashion, we saw a historic week of offensive impotence to kick off the season. A record 5 teams posted shutouts in Week 1, the most in any week ever.
Throws to McCutcheon, who gets away from Ortega, who fumbles.
Targeted under the rush. Henderson with the interception. For White. With Harris.
Bill Kilmer swings it out. Picked off by George Martin. George Martin is on his way. Against that Packers team. Dickey scrambling under pressure. Intercepted.
Plucky Oilers squad forced 2 of their league-leading 54 turnovers against the Jets, while the Steel Curtain coerced the Niners into a donut after setting a league record with 5 shutouts the year before. Meanwhile, Denver's Orange Crush defense blanked the Cardinals 7-0.
St. Louis just plain old couldn't move against the defense fast gaining recognition as one of the NFL's superior units.
Miami shut out the Bills despite netting just 148 yards themselves, and the offensively minded Raiders held San Diego to just 7 first downs in a 24-0 win. The 1986 season emphatically belonged to sackmaster Lawrence Taylor, but in Week 11, quarterbacks around the league hit the turf early and often, and Taylor was hardly involved. NFL defenses combined for 102 sacks, the most ever in a single week in NFL history.
The Lions arrived with a 4-game losing streak, but that came to an abrupt end when the Lions' defense attacked the Eagles with a vengeance.
The Lions tied a franchise record with 11 sacks, making life miserable for second-year quarterback Randall Cunningham. The Chargers racked up 12 sacks against Dallas, 5 of which came from rookie Leslie O'Neal.
Pickup. Leslie O'Neal caused another one. Flying through there was Leslie O'Neal again. Nobody touched him. This O'Neal could be the Rookie of the Year.
Unfortunately for San Diego, Too Tall Jones had 3 sacks of his own as Dallas eked out the victory. The Packers and Raiders each had 6 sacks, while 5 other teams notched 5 apiece. It was a banner day for pass rushers and one that quarterbacks would love to forget. A year later, the fallout from the NFLPA players' strike resulted in a hodgepodge of professional and replacement players and led to one of the most bizarre weeks of all time.
Montana throws a swing to Craig, caught a piece past the 5, the 3, the 2, 1, touchdown.
Montana's pass across the middle, touchdown 49ers. Oh, what a catch.
Headlining the madness in Week 6 was a furious fourth-quarter comeback by Joe Montana at the peak of his powers against, wait for it, Sammy Garza, a former CFL player and Cardinals replacement quarterback, making his first and only career start. Meanwhile, Steve Largent racked up 3 touchdowns against the Lions' faux defense.
Bush at center. Kemp with the snap, drops back to pass, fires one toward the end zone. Largent's got it. Touchdown Seahawks.
And the sub-NFL talent of the replacement Bills had their hands full with the best offensive player in the game.
And he is sacked, and it is Lawrence Taylor.
The only way to stop Lawrence Taylor that day was blatantly cheating. LT was held or had a personal foul called on a player blocking him 7 times. Even with the flags flying, Buffalo managed to squeak by in a 6-3 mess of a game. And to top it all off, Washington's replacements upset a Cowboys team on Monday Night Football, which included plenty of its stars who'd already crossed the picket line.
If you love the underdog, this is a night for you, Washington.
Overall, 1987 Week 6 produced 95 turnovers and 53 interceptions, the most picks in a week since 1948. The only scheduled 18-week regular season in history ended in a flurry as playoff hopes hung in the balance. 4 games went to overtime in 1993's final slate of games. The Dolphins' playoff dreams were crushed by a walk-off Drew Bledsoe touchdown.
Long ball, man is open, tips in, touchdown, it's over.
While the Raiders launched a 17-point comeback against Denver, capped off by a last-second Jeff Hostetler touchdown and game-winning field goal in overtime.
From 47 to put the Raiders in the playoffs.
James Lofton's final catch of his Hall of Fame career set up the Eagles for an overtime winner in San Francisco. But it was Emmitt Smith who stole the show in Week 18. He torched the Giants while playing through a separated shoulder in a must-win game for the Cowboys.
And Emmitt Smith gets his first carry in the second half and gets good yardage. Emmitt Smith gets another carry. Smith hammered. He's holding his arm.
Smith put up over 200 scrimmage yards and helped Dallas clinch a first-round bye in one of football's most iconic efforts. Now, if 4 overtimes aren't enough for you, have no fear. Week 6 of 1995 saw 5 different matchups tied after regulation, the most ever in a single week. In Miami, Dan Marino passed Fran Tarkenton for the all-time completions record. But then the Dolphins blew a 21-point lead as Jim Harbaugh threw 3 second-half touchdowns, leading the Colts to an OT win.
The Colts, 24 unanswered points.
The Giants won on a walk-off pick 6 by Jesse Armstead.
Steps up. Penalty marker down. The pass is intercepted. Jesse Armstead brings it back. Armstead, they go all the way. He's in, touchdown.
Robert Smith broke tackles and the Oilers' hearts on a game-winning scamper.
Out to the outside. Touchdown. There it is.
Washington erased a 10-point fourth-quarter deficit, but fell on a game-winning kick in OT.
5-yard field goal attempt. Philadelphia has beaten Washington.
And finally, Chiefs returner Tamarick Vanover took a punt 86 yards to the house to sink the Chargers on Monday night.
Up to the 30, up the sidelines, and Bennett hits him and knocks him down. He's gone! 40, 30, 20, 10, it's over. Kansas City wins.
While there were no overtime games in Week 5 of the 1999 season, there were plenty of nail-biting finishes. 10 games were decided by 3 points or less, the most since 1930. The Bengals scored a game-winning touchdown with just 9 seconds to play.
There's a throw, a fade pattern to the end zone. It is caught by the Bengals' Carl Pickens.
Then Doug Peterson foreshadowed his coaching success in Philly with a masterful touchdown drive to sink Troy Aikman and the Cowboys.
Peterson drops. Goes up the middle, has a man open. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Clutch defensive play saved the day for both the Falcons and Broncos. New England thought they had a win sealed until this happened.
Vinatieri, he's a clutch field goal kicker. With the upright. No good.
And Brett Favre completed yet another improbable late-game scoring drive to lead the Packers past the Bucs.
There's the blitz. Favre for the end zone, flag down, touchdown to Freeman. Holy cow!
But it was the ageless Dan Marino in his final season who stole the show. He capped off a wild shootout against Peyton Manning with a miraculous last-minute touchdown drive, converting a 50-yard bomb on 4th down and tossing a go-ahead touchdown with just 30 seconds left to play.
Dan looks, throws into the end zone, it is caught, it is a touchdown! All right!
Later that season, the Packers and Panthers found themselves tied for the final NFC wildcard spot. Only point differential separated the two heading into Week 17. Carolina had to make up an 18-point margin, while Green Bay had to do their part in holding it. The result was 2 bizarre but ridiculously entertaining games unfolding simultaneously.
Big hole, kicks it outside. Touchdown. Berline escaped the pressure. Wesley Wall. Touchdown, Carolina.
Each team mercilessly ran up the score to keep their playoff hopes alive. Even with double-digit leads throughout, the Packers and Panthers played with palpable desperation.
As the opening in the middle of the field, cuts it to the outside. Mitchell down the sideline. And he's going all the way. Touchdown. Pump fake, Berline goes up top. Patrick Jeffers makes the catch and goes into the end zone. Touchdown. Decides to go back the other way. Got one guy to beat. Michael Bates
his second kickoff return for a score this season.
Steve Berline threw 5 touchdowns. Dorsey Levens rushed for 4 touchdowns, and Brett Favre, despite being up 35-17, ran a hurry-up offense late in the fourth quarter.
Bradford to the 9-yard line. Looking for Bradford deep. And he's got it. Great catch.
What a catch.
First down from the 32. Favre going deep. He's got a man.
What a catch.
And a touchdown.
Man, oh
Bill
man.
Schrader. 99-yard drive for the Packers.
With the final seconds of each game ticking down, the points war would be decided moments apart.
Pulls his way in. Touchdown.
Number 4.
Berline. Muhammad. Incomplete. Wow. That's how it's going to end for the Carolina Panthers, but a valiant effort.
And guess what? None of it mattered because the Cowboys snatched the remaining playoff spot with a win later that day. The following year, Week 4 saw an unprecedented rushing barrage across the league with 4 backs topping the 200-yard mark. That's still a record for a single week in NFL history. Warwick Dunn exploited a league-worst Dallas run defense for a career-high 210 yards.
He's got running room and into the open field.
There's the speed curve.
He is gone. Warwick Dunn with the 70-yard touchdown run.
Corey Dillon gashed an equally poor Cardinals team just weeks after a then-record 278-yard performance.
2nd and 6, Corey Dillon gets his first carry. Here goes Corey Dillon. Past the 40, and it's a foot race to the end zone. Corey Dillon. He's going to almost gets it in.
And on first down, keep it on the ground. Mike Anderson bursting through a hole, and he's in. Anderson cuts it upfield. Anderson with a foot race to the sideline. On a 3rd and goal. Handoff. Anderson gets in. Handoff. Anderson. And there's the Anderson that we became accustomed to. Anderson trying to cut it. Anderson is in. Touchdown. Denver.
Anderson racked up a whopping 251 yards and set a then Broncos record with 4 touchdowns against a solid Saints team. To cap off the rushing onslaught, Curtis Martin gained a career-high 203 yards against the Colts, setting a then franchise record in the process.
Pitch for Martin, left side. Cuts it back. Running room. 30. 40. To the far sideline. And finally down at about the 24-yard line.
While runners stole the show in 2000, defenders stole the ball in 2003 and turned it into points at a record rate during a wild Week 2. The 11 defensive touchdowns are an all-time record for a single week as stars across the league found their way into the end zone.
Intercepted, look out!
Coincidentally, that Ravens game also featured Jamal Lewis breaking Corey Dillon's aforementioned single-game rushing record. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh and Kansas City each exchanged pick sixes.
Intercepted off the bat, grabbed by Chance Scott and returned for a touchdown. Along 3, 4 receivers deployed. Maddox straight through the hand and intercepted on the play. It's through Antoine Randall and picked up by Woods and will race in for a 46-yard touchdown.
As did the Cowboys and Giants.
24, little out, it's intercepted at the 30, and this will be a walk-in touchdown. New York Giants. And Collins back 5 steps and sets and stands and looks and throws it over the middle, intercepted by Singleton at the 40, right to the 30. Puts it on the Jets at the 15, and the defensive touchdowns are even at 1 apiece.
Philip Buchanan ended a go-ahead Bengals drive when he took one back 83 yards to the house, and the lone fumble returned for a score came from Seattle's Randall Godfrey.
The pitch to Emmett, it's bobbled and lost. Randall Godfrey picks it up, and there he goes. 54 yards for the touchdown.
We jump ahead 3 seasons. There's nothing like a good playoff chase, and the final stretch of the 2006 campaign did not disappoint. 6 AFC teams entered Week 17 ready to duke it out for the final 2 playoff spots. The Jets were in with a victory against Oakland. They handled their business. Then came Kansas City, who needed a win and a lot of help to earn the other wild card spot. The 8-7 Chiefs knocked out the 8-7 Jags with a 35-30 win.
They give it to Larry Johnson. To the corner. Touchdown.
Then they needed 3 things to happen. First, a Tennessee loss to the Patriots.
And here's Brady unloading long for Caldwell. He breaks the tackle at the 10. He's in the end zone for a touchdown.
Check. At 8-8, the Titans were eliminated. Next, the Chiefs needed a Cincinnati loss to the Steelers.
Snap is good. The kick on its way and no good. He
missed it. Here comes the rush. Roethlisberger on a hot read. He's got Holmes down the sideline. Sir Antonio Holmes diving. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Check. The 8-8 Bengals were knocked out of the playoff race by their AFC North rivals. Then came Denver. The 9-6 Broncos had to lose at home if KC was going to get in.
It's up, and he missed it. No, it's good. It went through. Wow.
Check. Every piece fell into place for the Chiefs, who went on to lose soundly to the Colts the following week. When the NFL changed kickoff rules before the 2011 season, many feared it would dull the special teams experience. Oh, how they were wrong. Opening week saw 9 special teams touchdowns across the league, the most in any week ever. Darren Sproles kicked off his Saints tenure with a 72-yard punt return.
Here goes Sproles into Green Bay territory, and Darren Sproles, touchdown.
But was one-upped moments later by rookie Randall Cobb, who made his triumphant debut with a record-tying 108-yard score.
Into Saints territory, and the second-round draft choice goes all the way for a touchdown. Wow. 108 yards in his NFL debut.
Fellow rookie Patrick Peterson also made a name for himself, scoring what would be the game winner on an 89-yard punt return.
On the return, he's got good speed, and he's got a couple of blockers. Watch out! Patrick Peterson goes all the way.
Future Ravens Super Bowl hero Jacoby Jones tight-roped the sideline on a 79-yard punt return against the Colts.
Running room. McAfee out there. Down the sideline. Jones, touchdown.
Nobody could outshine Ted Ginn, who gutted the Seahawks with 2 dazzling returns, just 1 minute apart from each other.
Ginn getting some running room. Hauschka may be the last chance. Ted Ginn down the sideline. Ted Ginn, touchdown. Ginn bobbles the punt, has control, and there he goes again. Ginn gets into the end zone, 55-yard return.
Week 9 in 2013 was one to remember for offenses around the NFL. 3 quarterbacks threw for at least 400 yards and 4 scores.
10 over the top, they go. Gronkowski is over 100 and over the goal line for the touchdown.
Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger dueled during a legendary passing display in New England, while second-year pro Nick Foles stunned the entire football world with a record-tying 7 touchdown passes.
Pass end zone, touchdown Eagles. Foles for Riley Cooper. End zone, touchdown. He's got it. That's a touchdown Eagles. Looking in the end zone, throws there. Touchdown Eagles. Wide open. McCoy dashing to the end zone. Touchdown Eagles. Foles is going deep sideline. Deshaun Jackson is alone for another Eagle touchdown. Foles has it. Throws end zone. Touchdown Riley Cooper. That's 7 for Nick Foles.
And then there was the ground game. Matchups that week averaged more than 284 combined rushing yards, the most since 1985. 3 running backs, Eddie Lacy, Chris Johnson, and Mike James, each gained at least 150 yards on the ground. And James even threw a touchdown.
First and goal from the 2-yard line as James throws, and it's Crabtree for the touchdown on a jump pass from James.
Meanwhile, the Colts and Texans traded blows with Andre Johnson scoring 3 first-half touchdowns.
Even going deep, and it is caught!
Only to see Houston's 18-point lead slip away when T.Y. Hilton scored 3 second-half touchdowns.
To the outside, to the right side, and a great move by T.Y. Hilton.
Overall, games averaged nearly 800 yards of combined offense, and no team scored in single digits. Truly an offensive display for the ages. Just 5 weeks later, though, Mother Nature got involved as the league became a winter wonderland in Week 14.
Look at that picture. Snow coming down hard.
8 degrees wind chill below 0. The frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Sleet, freezing rain, some snow.
A major storm produced 5 snow games across the country, blanketing Green Bay, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and D.C. But the poor conditions didn't damper the scoring, as games around the league averaged 54 points per game.
Plenty of time. Stafford's going to air it out deep for Johnson. He's got it. Calvin Johnson makes the catch. First time for Philadelphia, but they give to McCoy. Big hole and the move. McCoy through the snow. Touchdown.
Despite Calvin Johnson's best efforts, the Eagles got the best of the Lions on a snow-packed Sunday in Philly. Matt Flynn kept the Packers' playoff hopes alive on the frozen tundra in Green Bay, and the Chiefs scored twice on special teams, dominating Washington 45-10.
Looking for a block. Here he goes again. Cooper throws a beauty, and there he goes. McClustered by Rocca. He's chased by Paulson, and into the end zone. That is a Kansas City touchdown.
Down 6 to Miami, the Steelers needed a miracle in the snow at Heinz Field. They came inches away from having their prayers answered, too.
Inspiration time for Pittsburgh. A throw to the outside, Sanders. Play the lateral game here for Pittsburgh. Backward pass. Roethlisberger now running. Shovels out for Brown. Brown's got room. Brown down the sideline. Miami trying to bring him down. Antonio Brown. Incredible.
He's out of bounds at the 13-yard line.
And if you think that was wild, you haven't seen anything yet. It's perhaps the craziest final 2 minutes in NFL history, and rather than explaining it to you, let's just roll the footage from Baltimore.
Ray Rice as a receiver. Flacco, end zone. Touchdown, Dennis Pitta. In terms of the intermediate passing game. Toby Gerhart in field goal range. No more. Toby Gerhart. Covering less than 40 seconds in just 2 plays. Look out. Jacoby Jones. Jacoby Jones. It'll be third down. Cordero Patterson has it, and the rookie is loose. With one man to get past, he puts a move on. Look at Patterson go! I don't believe this! Touchdown Vikings! By 4. Flacco. Marlon Brown. Joe Flacco. Back in the end zone. That's Marlon Brown for a touchdown! 4 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes and 5 seconds. But the most important one from Joe Flacco to Marlon Brown. And boy, they look like a playoff team.